It's not often that I do stuff on the FJ, but every now and then it requires a little TLC. As you can see, it already has aftermarket lights, but honestly they're a bit pants. They look good, but they don't work that well, and the other day I found out that they hardly work at all. They only work on full lights on, not full beam. Full beam works as well. Am I confusing you? But yeah, running lights, everything doesn't work. So we got some new ones. Ta-da! Just in case you're in any doubt, they were made in China. I bought them pretty much when I bought the vehicle, so the headlights are 10 years old, and yeah, the wiring on them's always been a bit pants. And the indicators I bought much more recently, but as you can see, in the sun and the Arizona heat, they are fading. Not bad. The last indicators I bought had a really easy plug and play, and none of this resistor bullshit or whatever that is. Pretty sure it's a resistor. This seems to have a plug and play. We'll see when we get under the hood. The last headlights I bought did not have a plug and play, so I've already snipped all the wires. These look like they're going to be a lot brighter. I hope so. We'll see. And yeah, just 2 wires coming off of that. Anything in here? What have we got in here? Nothing. Okay, so that looks like the original factory light is going to fit in there then, unless there's a box of goodies somewhere. No, nothing in there, nothing else in there. Batteries not included, all bulbs. Good job I kept the originals up there somewhere, I think. And there they are. Yes, complete with bulbs. Rusty bulbs by the looks of things. Not sure if they're even going to work. Nor am I sure where the original connectors are, which is disappointing. So, given that situation, what I might do is order some LED bulbs for the new lights, and see if I can get some connections, or see if they're dangling around somewhere under the hood. Back in a minute. That, by the way, is a very useful device for scaring off pack rats. Stop them chewing your wiring. Looks like it might be the original connector. Here's a possibility. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's a red herring. I think that's some other light. I need to take it all apart, find out exactly what we've got to play with, but not today. I'm going to check out the LED bulb situation, and I'll see you in the morrow. Oh wait, I'm back. Well, there's the new bulb fitting, and there's the original one. You can tell that because the housing's covered in shit. They look pretty similar to me. So, having checked that out, I've ordered 2 LED bulbs, 22,000 lumens, which are arriving tomorrow, compliments of Amazon Prime, along with 2 fittings, wiring plugs, so I can wire them back into the original stuff. So, won't be needing the originals after all, not even the bulbs, keep them as spares. But, you may have noticed these, yes, little rubber booties. Which is a good idea to keep water out, because as you can see, it gets close to the proximity of the fittings. So I shall be taking these and putting them with the new lights. Then I'll see you tomorrow. God damn it, man, we're almost 5 minutes into the video and we haven't done anything yet. Well, that's because, you know, you order this stuff, bits missing, bits don't fit, whatever. So it's all about the preparation, or lack of, and yeah, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Then we'll get on with it, I promise. Bulbs and connectors have arrived, and they look pretty sexy actually. Got white gloves. What's that all about? I thought you only needed to worry about touching bulbs when they were halogens. Anyway, there they are. How cool is that? Don't know. Shall we fire them up, see if they're bright? Ready? That's pretty bright. I think that might be brighter. Impressive. And the good news is the fittings fit. And in other news, they fit the fittings. The other fittings, the actual lights. That's cool. This is all going a bit too swimmingly for my liking. Something's going to be difficult at some point. Just a question of lining up those little sprockets, dropping it into place, and clipping it in. Alrighty, bulbs clipped into place. We are ready to start fitting. But still, fittings in place. And in case you're in any doubt, the bottom one is the earth, actually, which is the white. That made a lot of sense. Anyway, we'll see when we hook it all up, right? Oops, forgot the boots. So that was a fiddle, but as you can see, they are round there. I had to use a little electric screwdriver just to gently lever them in, and then our good friend the chopstick to push them down. Now we're good to go. Bingo. Right, let's get on with it. First up, grill off. Bolts here, here, and here. And then there's these silly plastic things. That one's broken. That one isn't. And then there's another plastic thing there which is broken, so I think we'll fix that. So nothing's holding it on at the bottom at the moment. Another missing fitting. One of these horrible things which don't work very well. I know we're supposed to be focusing on lights, but that's the problem with these plastic fittings. They break off, so there's nothing there that mounts that, so we might need to fix something there. These two are good, and same with that one, just flapping about. Should be a bit here. He's gone. Rude not to spray it up while it's off, eh? As I remember, these are basically slotted into some of those these type doofers and connected to the headlight assembly itself. So I think I'm going to pull the whole thing. Let's try that. That's free and clear. Then we got another one of these doofers down here, which just pokes into that slot there, so that's free. Now we just got to work out what's going on over here. If we look at our new fittings, we'll see that there's one of these, and that'll be the same on the unit that we've got in there. And sure enough, that just pulls out of there. So this whole assembly is now free and clear, bar the wiring. Yeah. Looks like those aftermarket jobs that I've got on there at the moment had some kind of resistor, which I've wrapped all up in this to keep it waterproof. So we'll unwrap that, disconnect that, and then we'll get to the back of the headlight and see what's going on there. Sure enough, same identical setup. So we got that little resistor, whatever it is, and then we've got this that plugs into the original unit, so we don't need to mess around with that, which is nice. And then the running lights, so I've actually got earthed here and then powered up to an auxiliary socket in the fuse panel under the dash. We'll have a look at that later. But yeah, basically these running lights come on with the ignition, these translucent white jobs. So snip those, left these here just to remind me, and unbuckled the original factory indicator socket. That just leaves the headlights. These also appear to have some kind of transistor pack, which is probably for the halo ring, which is the LED, as you can see, filthy. And also that looks like a factory plug, so we might be in luck. So that transistor pack basically got two wires coming out of it. One is earth up here, and the other powers into that part of the loom there. So we'll check that out in more detail. So we'll snip those off, and we're going to untie that and see what that's all about. So as these bolts that hold the indicator unit onto the headlamp are pretty difficult to get to in situ, I'm going to piece that together so it's one piece. And what I'm going to do is just test wire up all these bits and pieces, make sure it's all working before we put it in place, obviously. And I guess we won't need that, hopefully. We'll see. By that, I mean this. Always best to be prepared for every eventuality, though. Here's what I did here to run off the factory wiring. I used one of these nasty devices, which basically clamps two wires together. You throw them in there, squish that down, and it joins them. Not a big fan of those, but there are good places to use them, and I suppose that's one of them. But obviously I don't want to take that one off. So I'm going to use this trailing wire from it that went to the old headlight unit and wire that into our positive here, which is the black, the white even. And this time I'm going to run both halos, i.e. the headlight and the indicator halos, off the same lead, i.e. that red one that's coming out of the original factory, rather than this independent permanent light that I had set up for the side light, running light. And I'm going to do that using one of these, like so. Sorry about the wind noise, it's a little windy today and cloudy. So we plugged all that cobblers in to the original factory indicator unit, which just leaves this boy to go in the back of the light, hopefully. And of course our two new earths, ground. Alright, factory socket plugged into the back of the new light. Let's test it. Alright, what should we test first? Let's just test, see if anything's on at all. Shouldn't be at the moment. Good, nothing. Let's just try driving lights. Nothing on the old one. And nothing on the new one, which might mean the fuse has gone. Now let's try the main lights. We have just a halo on that side. Over here we have lights, but we don't have a halo. That's interesting. Don't think we do anyway. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Halo is on. Good. Alright. This one. Yeah, that's on too. And indicators or hazards, old one working, and new one working. That's good. So we're kind of back to where we were with just the main light switch working, which to me indicates there's a fuse gone or something. So we're going to keep calm and carry on. Now I'm going to bolt the two units together, and I've thrown in some washers there because those holes are a little bit big for the somewhat small nuts provided. So they're not very tight, they don't need to be bustingly tight. Maybe should have used a nylock nut just to make sure, but whatever. Now we're just going to slot it all in there and work out what we're going to do with all this cobblers, including our resistor, transistor, whatever. Yeah, I think we're going to try and throw it all through that hole. So that all sits kind of nicely behind there. We've got our connection thing here, which I'm going to strap somewhere. And then we got down here the resistor, which has got some tape on it. So I'm going to mount it to there and probably put a tie wrap around it as well, just to be totally secure. Yep, so cleaned that up, mounted that there. It's pretty good tape actually, and I just ended up zipping that to our earth wires actually. Nice and accessible, out of trouble, nice and solid. Cool. Repeat as necessary. I'll be back when I'm finished. And there we go. And luckily it took about an hour and a half. I'd allow 3 just in case. I allowed myself 3, just long enough for the grill to dry in the heat of the day. So there we are, 2X headlights. I'm confident these actual headlights are going to be a lot brighter because they look much more like the factories, especially with those LED bulbs in. And we'll see how the rest of it fares in terms of the sunshine. I think this is going to do the same as the others. The Arizona sun is pretty harsh on plastic light fittings, unfortunately. That said, it obviously depends on the quality of the material. This is a Maserati and they are fine, and this sits out day in, day out. There you go. I think next up is a new grille for it, actually. It's that one, all the plastics are broken off and doesn't really fit very well, so I think that's the next job. We could always put the original one back on, we got it up there, but... And that, my friends, is that. Yeah, I checked the fuse. There is a driving light fuse. There's a fuse for left-hand low beam, right-hand low beam, left-hand high beam, and right-hand high beam, all the work. The driving light fuse was fine. I replaced it anyway, and it made no difference. So it must be the switch itself on the steering column, I think. Anyway, next time round, I think we'll be grilling. We might put the original one back on. We might get a duplicate of the one that we've got, which they now do in black. That one was originally chrome and I painted it black in my usual manner. Anyway, if you thought the video was any good at all, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe down here somewhere, and of course encourage others to watch my lunacy.